Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Today, we are back for another episode of Truth, Facts, or Lies. Now, first of all, y'all hit that subscribe button. It should be right along. Where's that subscribe button at, y'all? Right there or right there. It's at one of the two. It's one of the two. But hit the red subscribe button so y'all can hang out with me and I'll let you know what be going on. You'll be able to tell when I'm up here. Now, today's episode is very, very, very interesting. Now, there was a young man. His name was Jeff Smith. Now, from the time he was a child, his mother left him. His mother was an alcoholic. His mother used drugs and eventually overdosed and killed herself. So he was raised by his grandmother. Now, from the time he was 8, 9 years old, he would always get into trouble doing bad things, breaking. He loved to break into stuff, and steal and shoplift. So he accumulated a record quite fast. By the time he was 13, he broke in these people house and they had a silent alarm, which he didn't know. And before he could get out of there, the police came and he was arrested. Now, when he went to court, the judge told him, well, we're just going to keep you because you have an extensive record. We're going to put you in the juvenile detention center and we're going to let you stay there until you're 18. And so he had to do somewhere around about 4.5 to 5 years in the detention center. Okay, during that whole period, he was bad. He got into trouble just about every day when he was in there. And at 18, he was released. Now, when he was released, they told him, we're not going to give you no probation, anything. You're just free. And they let him go. And so he went back to his hometown and he hadn't learned his lesson. He was still stealing, shoplifting, and one night he broke into this man's house and the people were hungry. And so the people heard something downstairs and they called the police. And when the police came, they found him in the house and they arrested him. Now, this time when he went to court, he went to adult court. And when he went to adult court, the same judge that he had saw when he was a juvenile was sitting on the court. Now, guess what? The judge didn't really appreciate seeing him there back after 5 years. So the judge said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 7 years. And he was 18 at the time. So the judge gave him 7 years and he had 7 years to do. Now, this time when he went to prison, he thought, I, I'm just done. I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm going to change my life and do myself some justice. Now, he had quit school when he was in the ninth grade. So, what he did when he was in there, he got his first thing he did was he got his GED. And then he continued on and got him a associate's degree in engineering, which was real good. That was good for him. And he spent that 7 years in prison wisely, learning and educating himself so when he got out, he could do something with his life. So when he got out, I think he did about 6 years out of the 7. So when he got out, he decided, well, I need a new change of scenery. I'm not going to go back to my hometown. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move. And he lived in North Carolina, to tell you the truth. So he moved to Georgia. And he said, I'm going to start me a new life. So he moved to Georgia, put in a couple of applications. And guess what? He got a job at an engineering firm. They hired him. They gave him a chance. So he worked at the engineering firm and he was doing real good. He met a lot of people that he worked with, and everybody seemed to like him. And he did his job very well. So one night, his boss was married, had a son that was about 17, 18 years old. And one night, someone broke into his boss's house, and his boss was there. The family was there. And the husband, the boss, came downstairs and he cut the lights on, and there stood Jeff. The boss said, Jeff, what are you doing? Jeff said nothing. He had a gun in his hand, pointed at the guy. And his wife came downstairs and she started to scream. And the dude said, don't scream. Don't scream or I'll shoot you. So the son came running downstairs and startled the guy. And the guy shot the son and killed him. And the guy took off running and ran away. Now, Jeff's boss knew that was him. And when the police got there, he told him, he said, it's the guy that works for me. His name is Jeff Smith. He works for me. I can't believe he did this. So the police went to Jeff's house and knocked on the door. Jeff came, opened the door, looked like he had slick in his eyes. And they said, had their guns out and told him, don't move. You're under arrest for burglary and murder. And Jeff said, wait. I've done nothing. I've done nothing wrong. They took him down. They arrested him. And I guess he stayed in jail because they gave him no bond. I guess he stayed in jail for about maybe a year and a half. And when they went to court, him and his lawyer, Jeff, kept telling his lawyer, man, I'm innocent. I didn't do this. There's no way. I can't be convicted. I don't worry. I was home. I won't be convicted. But the guy said, okay, we'll take it and we'll see what we can do. So they went to court. Jeff, he's happy. He knows he's going home because he didn't do it. He just said he didn't do it. And the lawyer tells the judge, Jeff's, good guy, I know his record doesn't look good. I know this is on his record, but he's changed and it's not him. Now, Jeff had a distinct birthmark on his face, a little black spot right on his face, very distinct. And what he didn't know was the people just Boss House had cameras all through it. So the DA got up and presented pictures of Jeff in the house holding the gun close. I mean, you could even see the birthmark on his face. And Jeff said, it's not me. I don't, it's not me. I didn't do it. So in the end, he's convicted and sentenced to death. And Jeff, the judge asked Jeff, does he have anything to say? Jeff says, I'm sorry for what happened, but I didn't do it. And everyone's looking at him because everyone is seeing the pictures. It's like, well, I mean, what is going on? This guy must be crazy. So they sentenced him, and It took about maybe 3 years for all of his appeals to be up. And the night of the execution, the husband goes to the prison because he wants to see justice for his son. So he goes to the prison and they strap Jeff to the table. And you know, they can hear you. And the guy says, I hope you burn in hell for killing my baby. And they execute Jeff and they take his body out and they bury it. And he had no family. His father had passed by that time. So they bury him. And time goes by, maybe about 2 or 3 years. And the husband and wife had finally put their life back together. And they're in the grocery store one day. And they're walking down the aisle. And they stop. They're stunned. Both of them are looking. Right in front of them is Jeff. Truth, facts, or lies? Leave your comment and let me know what you think happened. Truth, facts, or lies? Hit the subscribe button, y'all. Who's ever somebody hit that subscribe button. Little red subscribe. Hit that right there. It's right there. Oh, it's right there. I'll be back tomorrow to let you know exactly how this tragedy happened. Truth, facts, or lies?